starts taking away from this. 5,800 watts. Holy moly. Almost 6 kilowatts. I'm maxing out this thing. It is taking a little away from the batteries because it did go up to 1.9 kilowatts to run that AC. Okay, got this cart turned upside down. Plan A, I had these in my hand. I've used these before from Harbor Freight. And I put them back and got those 99-cent little roller wheels, or whatever we want to call them. So they suck. So I'm just going to tack these on instead. These will be much better. Got them all welded on there. That should be a little better. Oh yeah, that's like butter now. Wow, once I got the skeleton built and the wood put in there, had to go get some screws. It was $8 for these self-tapping Phillips head pan screws that are 1/2 inch long. $8 for 50 of them. That is freaking ridiculous. Found some sheet metal I had rolled up in the backyard. It was actually, you know, well, this nasty one here, but I had a longer piece. So I actually screwed it to the back and then just tin knocked this corner and that corner and just kind of wrapped it around and skinned it. And I'll have to just finish this front. And it came out pretty fast. And these are the latest third batch of batteries. So there's 20 kilowatt hours worth, I believe, is, or 10 kilowatt hours. I mean, each bank of 14 is about 10 kilowatt hours. And this is my third batch. So you can see these are cool because these are packs of 70. And we have these huge tangs that just run along the side of them. Like that. And then I could just bolt them together. Very easy to work with these batteries. It's been about $1,000 for each batch of them I get, but lithium ion isn't cheap. And I believe the other 2 batches were supposed to be slightly used, but considered pretty much near new. I forget what they came from. Some surplus or something, and they were tested good. And I believe these are actually new. These were never used, but they were like another brand with the same ratings. So I don't know. All right, this was a bit of work to get those batteries all unbolted, all the other ones, from inside the mechanical room. I'm gonna call it that, in my garage. So now they're out here. And so I got 1, 2, 3 banks of 10 kilowatt hours with another bank for another 10 kilowatt hours, which I'll probably get another bank at one point. So it's 30 kilowatt hours at least of storage right here. So this is a box. So it's got some steel frame, just square tubing, and then I just skinned it with sheet metal I had, and then I've put insulation, just packed it in there. And I just got these little transfer holes between all the places because I'm going to push in air with a fan just to pressurize this from the air in the garage. That's going to be pretty awesome. That'll just keep it the same temperature as the garage all the time with this insulated box. And this is the side that stays pretty shaded until we get into the middle of summer, but this has this little section right here kind of shaded a little bit. So I finally did it. Finally got the batteries out of the house after all that time. Now I need to wait for these bank of batteries to get down to 50 volts, which is where I have those charged to down there to tie them all 3 together. So right now I just have the 2 banks connected, fired back up. So right now the AC here is running off the transfer switch off of those batteries right there. Probably about 2 kilowatts. 1.63. I guess it's because it's kind of cool out. This is low speed. Really low. Around 42 hertz for the compressor. Such just so nice and cool. Yeah. Put the cover on a second. Yeah, so I've already, wow, 75 kilowatt hours within like a week or whatever it's been. Running the AC here in Phoenix area. 75 kilowatt hours off of solar. And I've just been letting it run at night too, right now. And I believe once I connect the 3rd bank of batteries, this may not switch over to utility power at all unless we get a cloudy day. So right now, the inverter charger off those batteries, because it's dark now, is running this AC on first stage and running this 115 volt compressor, which is connected to the high wall inside. That high wall I put on there. So I don't think I'm gonna, kind of leaning towards not that other Frankenstein I was starting to build. That's a mini one of these. I was gonna put the 220 volt compressor in it, Probably just going to keep this one because it's just so efficient. So it's probably how I'm leaning, just because it's going to be more work to change the other one. And so that's pretty awesome. It's kind of hovering around 5.6 kilowatts locked in, 80 amps charge rate going into the batteries. The battery cables I moved to the outside. I got to put my cooler fan on here. Holy shit. 80 amps is going through that cable divided up to the 2 banks of batteries. And as soon as this thing gets my batteries up to 56 volts, stops charging, I'm going to turn this thing off. I'm going to go disconnect the single batteries I just added to the system, get them topped off, get them all even, and then hook up all 3 together. And then I'm going to have the 30 kilowatt hours of batteries all connected. But this thing's putting 80 amps. I think that might be the max this thing will do. Is it? Where was all the ratings on this thing? I think I can actually set what the limit is in the setting. So, I don't know, evidently I have it set pretty high. 5.6 kilowatts. It's using 1,000 watts almost from a heat pump in the light. If I turn my light off, of course it shaves off 100 watts. Isn't it funny that this LED light is 1/8 of the power that it takes to run my whole freaking heat pump to heat my 50-gallon tank, my compressor, the circulating pump, and this high wall up here. Dude, I never expected to see over 5,000 watts. I never thought those original array I put up there was all that great, because I never got even half of this. And I added the other ones, which is, what was it, like another 1,000 watts or a little more? Maybe it was a little more than that. I've got 9 panels at like 325, I think, whatever that comes out to be. But they're really working great. It's not even noon. It's not even noon. It's freaking 11:30. Oh, that just changed. It's 11:30 a.m. My goodness, this thing is freaking cranking out power. The batteries are almost fully charged, and it's been running a heat pump, and it's been pretty nice. So my AC hasn't really been running much this morning, but wow. So that the voltage is almost up to 300 still. It's not even pulling it down that much to make this power. That is crazy. And being that it's a high voltage array, look at that, under 20 amps, 18 point something on my 12 gauge wires. Only 12 gauge wire running about 80 feet or whatever it takes to get that into this room. And that's why I went with high voltage array. Now the battery wires, those are another story. Those are as thick as my pinky, and it was really hard to fit both of them through this 3/4 conduit. Just 2 wires. I had to like lube it up actually yesterday to get it through that conduit. It's crazy. Batteries at 56 volts. Just came in here like 5 minutes later. What are we still putting in? 5.6 kilowatts, 80 amps. Should be backing off here in a few minutes. Goes up to 56 point something. Now I have 14 batteries in series, so I'm only charging up to 4 volts each. So not even taking them up to the 4.2 that you could. And this increases, I guess, your cycle rate by many years. So it just keeps them safer. Now one thing I will say, I'm not going to see this on a regular basis, is because we're having a unseasonably cool and windy day. So those solar panels are being cooled down to like 80 something degrees with the wind and with just a cool day. And so the production went up. So in the summer when it's 120 outside, the sun hitting those panels, they're not going to put out this, but we're just going to have more hours of day of sunlight. So it'll be less peak output, more hours. But this is still great though. This is probably the only time I'm going to really see this for the season, I'm sure. This 5.6 kilowatts, probably not going to see that as soon as the temperature goes up. So have an ideal angular, from the sun and the lower temperature is just not something you usually experience here in Phoenix area. Okay, it's about 12:30ish. The 2 banks of batteries out there are fully charged, so it's not putting any current into them. We are using almost 2 kilowatts directly from the sun with reserve left, just to run my upstairs AC, probably on low. So I'm going to hit my little transfer switch. So I just took it off of this. It's going to go to utility power, and I'm going to shut this system down and go switch over to the single bank of batteries that need to be topped off, and I'll get them topped off today. Let's see, now this is dropping down. It's probably going to give me a fault. Okay, I just isolated these two banks of batteries by disconnecting the fused jump links at the end there. I got all 3 banks of batteries all tied together in parallel now. So basically with these fused connections open, it's only going to be this newer single circuit batteries connected to my solar inverter chargers, because I have these banks are fully charged, 56.6 volts, and now I just got this bank which is only at 50.5 volts, getting ready to go in there and turn it on to the solar inverter charger. So we're going to start charging these up. When I get them fully charged up and get them within a tenth or so of these, I will interconnect them all 3, and then I'll have my 30 kilowatt hours plus of storage right here. Now, I've been pretty nervous around these batteries, man. I work around 460 volt units all the time, but you only have so much current, they pop the fuses. You know, it's a nice, marvelous spark, but there's usually a limit to it other than getting electrocuted. Where this is low voltage, 50 volts here, 56 right now on these. I mean, the current, these could safely discharge 700 amps, the bricks. So it's 700 amps at 50 volts. That's, wow. And of course, you'll briefly get really high. That's why I use these 100 amp fuses, so it'll hopefully blow really quick if I ever short across. The other thing is I could short across here, which is about 3.6 volts here, about 4 right now on these. You think that's not very many volts, but you're still going to get over 700 amps until it pops all those individual little fuse links to each cell. That's going to be pretty fucking sketch. But you know, I'm going to get ready to go take this off the rest of the way to isolate it, or tape those up maybe, and then I'm going to go turn it on. Okay, just turn the battery power back on. Fired this sucker back up, says 51.5 volts out there. Should start charging these batteries. It's starting to ramp up now, because there's plenty of solar. 1.2 kilowatts, 1.5. It's going to keep going up until it runs out. It's trying to see what it can pull. It's going to cross over 2 kilowatts here in a second. I'll leave it there. All my Ecobees booting back up to the power off of this. 2.3, get 42 amps going in the batteries. That's that single new row of batteries at the bottom. Crossing over 50 amps, 3 kilowatts from the solar. .3 kilowatts, 60 amps. 60 amps going through those wires that just connected out there. And then we got 4 kilowatts plus coming out of solar. 73, 74, it's going to max out. I think I have it set at 80 amps, maybe is what the limit is. And it's doing that all through a singular. Those batteries could take way more than that. They're safe. Continuous discharge rate, I think they said, was 700 amps. The charging rate's probably not that, but I know it's way more than 80 amps. So this should be good. So 80 amps, 4.7 kilowatts coming out of the solar. Still working there. So now, to treat this thing, we got only 200 watts running on the AC output of the inverter, because I'm just running the light in one second. Hit the transfer switch. It's gonna freaking restart that freaking AC if it was running out there. I saw the lights flash. Yeah, so we got over 5,000. Yeah, there goes it's ramping up. Oh, it just kicked off for some reason. Either that AC just happened to finish running out there. It was over 5,000 watts. Let me go out and look at my AC and see if I can get this shut off. That was weird. Either that, I just got an inrush and charged up the capacitors, and the VFD is all that was. AC is off. Let's see here. Do I have power? Oh yeah, it's on standby. So either it just surged to charge up the VFD, or it just happened to finish cooling. Thermostat's off though. Okay, so those are charging with a whole bunch of current. One thing I need to do now is I need to cut a hole and mount this fan. 220 volt fan. I just happen to have from one of those Frederick units, I think is what this come from. It's seems to be meant to pull air, not push. I kind of stuck it on a piece of round ABS I thought I'd put on the tube going in there and push air into this box, but it doesn't have any much effect pushing air. So this is meant to, you know, pull air out. So what I need to do is I'm probably gonna have to cut a hole in the side of one of these panels, put that in there, and I'm gonna have to put a little, you know, rain hood over it. I'll probably do it way back here. Like I said, it doesn't, a lot of rain doesn't come over here. So, but I got some time to do that if I need to do it. I'll do that another day. Go ahead and concentrate on just letting these batteries charge up, and then I'll get them all hooked up, and then they'll be good to go. So anyway, one bank of batteries are hooked up still, and that's 4,600 watts going into those right now, charging up 4,600 watts. So if you did the math, if they were discharged, and those are 10 kilowatt hours, it would take about a little over 2 hours to charge them up from empty, but they're already, we're at over 50 volts, which took forever to charge them up to that with the portable charger, current limiting charger. So 53.3 volts, which of course if you stop charging it'll probably drop down a little bit. 318 volts on the solar side, 14 point something amps on the solar side, with 80 on the 53 volt side, you know, right now. 4.6 kilowatts. Thing is cranking. I don't know if I've ever put that many much wattage instantaneously into a pack of batteries, a single circuit of them, since I've had this thing. So I got this high watt here, but also I've this ducted one. I just have the cardboard blowing cold air into that room. I'm going to turn this unit on, just to put it on for like half hour. So it should be on timer, run for half an hour. That multi-port unit should kick on after a couple seconds, and you'll see a spike in output wattage. You'll see how much was left on here. It might give up some of the power that's going to the batteries if that AC takes too much. I see that AC go up to about 2 kilowatts when it first ramps up when it's warm, and I've got the garage open. It's 86 in here according to that. So there goes the fan on that. I haven't seen the compressor start yet. Should be any second. I see some jumping around. That's usually when it's, there goes some spikes there. It's charging the caps, and it's kind of torque starting that rotary compressor in that thing. So 1,000 watts. Over here so you can see when it starts taking away from this. 5,800 watts. Holy moly. Almost 6 kilowatts. I'm maxing out this thing. It is taking a little away from the batteries because it did go up to 1.9 kilowatts to run that AC, and it does throttle back as the space temperature drops in there. I can already feel that cold air blowing on me. 6 kilowatts. 6 kilowatts. I didn't even know I had that, was going to ever see that. I did not think those other one panels were all that great. Because they're old, and then I added the 9 newer ones to the 22 other ones I have. The 9 new ones are bigger. So collectively, wow, tagged them. This thing's at 6,500. So I'm definitely doing what I don't want to do, is run this thing at max. But whatever. 6,000. Let's do it. Oh, I thought something happened. It jumped because this thing times out and goes to the other screen. So 1.8 kilowatts into the AC, so you take it almost 2, so that's still putting about a little over 4 kilowatts into those batteries. 70 amps on the battery voltage side, 53.4. So I could leave this AC running for the rest of the afternoon. It's still going to top off that bank of batteries, no problem. I'm actually really cooking with butter now on this system. She's going. But as I was telling my friend, saying this is best case scenario. So what it is we're in the middle of May. We're May 18th, I think. We got pretty good angular of the sun, as far as the energy density on any given area of the panel. When your sun is directly overhead, from like 11 to 1-ish, you got this angle. You also have the angle, you know, from coming this way more towards, you know, more overhead in this season, you know, here in Arizona, Phoenix area. So we get the most direct sun and energy density from the sun, but we should be way warmer. We should be 100 degrees outside right now, but we're only like 80 something outside right now, less than 90. So we're under the average temperature today. So the solar's making more energy than it normally would be, because as it gets hot outside, these solar panels drop down what they make in energy. So today's a real favorable day. It's kind of cool that this has happened to be when I was working on it, and I got to see it. I don't think I'm going to see 6 kilowatts throughout the summer, so it's going to be probably peaked at 5, if even that, midday. But I'm going to have more hours of sun, more hours of energy production, so that'll be better for this thing than higher output, you know, instantaneous output. Pretty cool. So look at AC unit dropped down to 1.2 kilowatts. So it's maxed out to 80 amps going into the batteries. I think that's what the setting is. And it might be about 80 that it peaks at. Let's have to look at the book. Okay, here's the book. So maximum charging current. So it looks like for this one, I think I have it set for 80 on that one. And I could go up to, I don't know, at least 100 looks like. I'm not going to do that. Just take it easy on this thing, but it's got a little more in it that it could be put into the batteries when it has that 6 kilowatts available. Obviously, when I didn't run the AC, it didn't. So right now we dropped down to 5.7 because the AC dropped down. The batteries are still maxed, and the voltage is still around almost 300, so we're close to probably all that the power I'm getting from the sun is, but I think also this thing is just not, it doesn't have not as much demand as it was a couple minutes ago. That's awesome. So as the battery's been charging, looks like it's been backing off on how much power is put in there. Now it's even down to 9 amps. It is running the AC upstairs at the same time as it's charging the batteries, but the voltage is kind of drifting up on the incoming. That usually is kind of an indicator to me it's not utilizing as much power. 3,000 watts now it's down to. Not utilizing as much power as the panels probably could be producing right now. It's just only going to make what it can put out. So it's only going to take what it could put out. Is backing off on charging the battery, so hopefully it gets those topped off before the sun goes down, whatever it decides to do, and that way I can connect them up and then have them all ready to go with the batteries complete until I add a 4th section of batteries into that system. Oh, and we're heating water right now. You know, I'm going to cut the video there. That should be good. Maybe do an update another day. So with that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're not, and leave a comment. Catch you guys later.